Hey, good morning guys, it's Bill from Competition Cars. So now we're going to do the driving video and exterior walk around in the natural light on this 1979 Lincoln Mark V. Dark Cordovan paint code, beautiful paint, all original paint, 6,300 original miles. So Anthony, if we just go around the car, want everybody to see how nice the paint looks, go around it one complete time and then get down the other side where the sun's hitting it. So you see how straight the body looks. Dark Cordovan paint, light Cordovan top, dark Cordovan interior. Just a beautiful, beautiful straight car. Some nice documentation that goes along with it. Beautiful bright work, 400 V8 engine, tuned and ready to go. Kind of get down close and to the side here. Look how beautiful that body is. Awesome. Go across the hood real nice. Hop in on the ride. All right, thank God for ice cold air. Air is cold in this car. Now before we take off for our drive, we're gonna go over the features. Horn works, tilt's fine, we'll check the cruise. I'll do a separate video with the radio and the 8-track player. This power seat. Every switch works on the seat. The wand for the mirror works on this side. The wand for the mirror works on that side. Anthony, go ahead and check your seats, make sure all those things work forward, backward, tilt. All right, so everything's working on his side. Wipers. Wipers work. Now, the door locks. Look at this side here. So, locking the doors. This side's a little slow. What happens is these motors have a rubber grommet that starts to deteriorate over time. It gets a little sticky. So the door locks work. It just takes a little effort on this one to go up and down, but it does work. Other side seems to be fine. Down, up. So there we go. Headlights work as they should. The air definitely works good. And here's one thing, guys. This car is 6,300 miles. When I got the car from the client, he actually called me, I think it was yesterday, he saw my videos, and he said, what happened to the plastic that was on these seats? So when the car came in, all I saw, we put it into the back shop for detail. I mean, the cars are clean to begin with, but we take the detail to the next level. So there was plastic on these seats. I thought that maybe the trucker had put plastic on them, or the previous owner laid the plastic down on the seats just to keep the seats clean. And turns out that was the original plastic on the seats, still from the car when it was brand new. So these seats are just now seeing daylight, these front driver seats. So I was kind of bummed out when I found out that we took off the factory freaking plastic, which is my fault. So sorry for that, guys. But I mean, you know, you're probably gonna want it off anyway. But just that if you can understand how brand new these seats are, nothing's ever touched the fabric until just now. So that's kind of cool. And horn works. The air is absolutely great. We'll check the cruise in a minute. Now, pin across that hood. We did a full multi-stage paint correction, ceramic coated. The freaking paint on this car is amazing. Look at the other video I have. I talked about a little bit of imperfection on the roof of the car, which I believe was just from the factory, because again, they painted these cars by hand. So, you know, back then, mid to late 70s, GM and Ford products, you're gonna see some little imperfections in the paint here and there, and that's actually absolutely normal, I have discovered throughout the years of selling these cars. Clock does not work. That's the only thing on the car that doesn't work is the clock. The car comes with some 8-track tapes, which will demonstrate that shortly. This guy will speed up here. We'll check this cruise. Oh, I was going to talk about the tires too. The tires on this car are the tires that were delivered on the car brand new in 1979. And yes, I know I'm going to hear it from several people. They're not safe, or this, or that. However, the guy that buys a 6,300 mile car that's so original, he's going to want these tires on the car unless he plans on driving it. So I've had customers tell me, hey, don't change the tires, leave them be, I'll deal with them. So either the tires are going to remain on the car and this car will be just shown or driven. I mean, I'm driving it now. I mean, the tires aren't just exploding. So there's a lot of myth to the whole tire situation. I mean, I've driven on 50-year-old tires before, short drives, 30, 40, 50 miles an hour, not a big deal. but you don't want to drive it on a regular basis and start going on the highway doing 60 or 70. So we're leaving these tires on because it's an original car. The next buyer can determine whether he wants to put new tires, but if you do that, make sure you keep these tires with this car because it's very important to a real collector. So let's speed up and check the cruise. I'm pretty sure it works. The previous client told me it worked, so I'm going to confirm that. On and then set. Let's get a little faster. We're only doing 30 something. We tend to go a little faster on this road, but the speed limit's kind of low, so these people are dragging a little bit this morning. Look at the car. Go down. Look. I mean, this car is like brand new. Again, I've said it on other videos. You know, when I get these cars, sometimes it's just like going back to 1979 or 1975, whatever year the car is, and plucking a nearly new Mark V or Cadillac, or whatever it is that I've brought to market. And I just love finding these cars with these kind of miles. I mean, it's not easy. It may look like it's easy, but it's not. I'm gonna make a U-turn here. Again, little one finger, great turning radius. Look at that, perfect. Nice and tight. No play in the steering wheel. Steering wheel's tight, the brakes are good. And again, this car was owned by a certified diesel tech that worked for John Deere. So he said, Bill, back in March, I just went through this car, did all the fluids, everything it needed to be done to bring it up to, you know, to the point where he was going to sell it. He didn't want to have any problems with anybody, you know, having old fluid and stuff like that. So everything's been upgraded and serviced properly. All right, so now we're going to get around this curve. This guy doesn't pull out in front of me. And we're going to check, no, he's moving away. We're going to check the cruise. I don't think I was going fast enough earlier. So I'm going to turn it on. I like the GMs because when you turn the cruise on, there's a light that says the cruise is on. Lincoln didn't do that for some reason. So I think it's on. And I'm going to hit set. Hit Excel. So it looks to me like the cruise, try it one more time before I say it doesn't work. Sometimes these buttons are tricky. You're turning it on, and actually you're turning it off by mistake. So let me turn it off, turn it on, set. All right, so obviously the cruise is not working. So we're gonna call the clock and the cruise not working. Everything else works as it should. I'm very transparent, guys. If I see something, I know something, I'm going to tell you about it, okay? Let's go ahead and step on it. Got the big 400, pulling good, shifting good. And these 400s are very, very adequate for these cars. It doesn't really feel underpowered. You know, for the time, I mean, you figure the horsepower on a 79 Corvette might not even been 200 horsepower. I think they were 180 or 190. Camaros and Trans Ams were 180. You could have got a Pontiac 77 Trans Am with like 200 or 210. So, you know, there weren't big numbers on horsepower. However, they do have a lot of torque, and that's where this car kind of shines. So let's wrap this up, and you'll see this car is actually running right now on Bring a Trailer, so I'll share it on YouTube. It'll be shared to Bring a Trailer. You guys can study the pictures. I got hundreds of pictures, but this is a special car in really impeccable condition. So check it out, guys. We appreciate it, and good luck bidding.